Hi everyone, yasas que kalos tirtata to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. If you've watched the shrimp taco recipe that I shared with you right before this one, you're gonna love this Mexican rice, also known as Spanish rice. We cannot get enough of it in this house. It's so good, so easy to make, and it comes together in 30 minutes. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna begin with the rice. I have 2 cups of long grain rice. This is just plain regular rice. It's not basmati rice. I like to use this rice better, but if you want a lighter feel to your dish, you can use basmati rice instead. Either way, you're going to begin by rinsing the rice a few times with cold water. About 4 or 5 times should be good, and then you can soak it in cold water as well for a minimum of 15 minutes. In the meantime, you can just prepare all the rest of the ingredients. Just roughly chop this onion over here and add it to the pot with 3-4 tablespoons of olive oil and cook it until it begins to soften. In the meantime, I'm just gonna slice these Serrano chilies in half, and I'm gonna do this with gloves because there's so many times that I've done this and forgot and then rubbed my eyes, and the burn is real, you guys. So put on some gloves and take out the seeds. This is gonna remove a lot of that spiciness. You can rinse them if you'd like, but I'm just gonna leave them as is. And I'm just gonna thinly slice them just like this, very simply and easily. Set them aside and put them in a plate. And as soon as the onions have softened, you could add the chilies in there and let them soften too, just for a minute or two. Then I have these Roma tomatoes here. You can use anywhere from 2 to 4, depending on how tomatoey you want it. I like using the Roma tomatoes because they tend to hold their shape. If you want them to completely melt in the rice, you can use a different tomato, a softer one. So Roma tomato is what I'm using. I'm just gonna dice this up and set it aside. The onion and the Serrano chilies are looking really good. I've grated 6 garlic cloves here. I'm just gonna add them in and warm them through just for a few seconds until they're nice and fragrant. Next, I'm gonna drain the rice and add it to the pot and just saute it a little bit with the onions and the garlic and the Serrano chilies just for a few seconds. Now we're gonna add the spices. I'll add 2 teaspoons of salt, a heaping teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of ground cumin powder, and then just give it a nice mix. You can toast the spices for a few seconds in that hot rice and onion mixture. And now we'll add 2 cups of broth. I'm using chicken broth, but you could use vegetable broth or even water for this. Give everything a nice mix and bring it to a boil. As soon as the mixture comes to a boil, then put the lid on top of the pot and reduce the heat to a simmer. Let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the rice is fork tender. I went in at 15 minutes and the rice still wasn't done. I just squeezed some lime juice on top, just the juice of 1 lime, and I just covered the pot back up and let it cook for another 5-6 minutes. It's looking really good right now. I've thinly sliced these 4 scallions. I'm just gonna garnish the rice on top with it, and just look at how good it looks. It's that simple to make this dish. It's ready to be served. So that's it. Just like that, the rice is ready. Like I said, you saw how easy it is to make. It comes together really quickly with really basic ingredients. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. You can print it out on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Time for the taste test. Smells so good. I also like to garnish it later on when I'm serving it with some lime wedges and some chopped scallions on top for more freshness. Oh my goodness. This has become one of my all-time favorites. It's so fresh because of the onions, the Serrano peppers, and the fresh tomatoes. I know a lot of recipes call for tomato paste or crushed tomatoes or crushed canned tomatoes, but I love using the fresh tomatoes in this, especially the Roma because they hold their shape. But I have made these with other just regular like hothouse tomatoes, and they kind of melt in the rice. That's nice too. It just depends how you like it. But this rice is very, very flavorful, so easy to make, and it goes so well with the shrimp tacos. If you want to learn how to make those, click over here and I'll see you right over there. Yes,